Hello there guys, welcome to one of my videos. On this video I am going to be giving you a preview for the Crystal Palace Manchester United game, which is on Thursday, 8:15 kickoff at Selhurst Park. Now I'm very convinced that Manchester United will win this game because Crystal Palace are in a bad vein of form. Crystal Palace have lost their last 5 league games and they are sitting 14th in the Premier League. Now, actually, we'd lost the reverse fixture at Old Trafford. We lost by 2-1. So actually, Crystal Palace are looking to do their first double over us in the Premier League era. Now, let's give you a bit of team news. Solskjaer will be doing his press conference tomorrow, so I will be giving you my reaction to that. A bit of Crystal Palace's team news. I think, they've got some injuries. They've got Gary Cahill out, James Tompkins, Martin Kelly, Slupp, they've got him out. And they've also got Christian Benteke suspended because he got sent off in Crystal Palace's 2-0 defeat to Aston Villa recently. Obviously, Roy Hodgson is Crystal Palace's manager. From my own perception, I think, Roy Hodgson is now far too old to manage. I think, he should retire. He's managed a hell of a lot of teams though, as Roy Hodgson during his managerial career. I think this has now been his 3rd season with Crystal Palace. Obviously, he's managed Liverpool in the past. He's also managed Fulham in the past. He managed West Brom before. He's also managed Blackburn, Inter Milan, Grasshoppers, Underneath, West Brom, yeah. And there's other teams he's managed as well, Roy Hodgson. But, we need to win this game against Crystal Palace, because we need to bounce back. Because you saw my match reaction this morning from the 2-2 draw with Southampton. And Solskjaer gave his verdict on the Southampton game. And he feels as though we did not do enough to win that game. Now, it was a shame that we didn't win that game against Southampton. We did concede in, the 96th minute of stoppage time. Obafemi had scored the equaliser. It came from a James Ward-Prowse corner. Definitely Lindelof was accountable for that because in reality Lindelof should have defended it. But maybe a draw was a fair result in the end. Obviously, the first 15-20 minutes, like I said, Southampton totally dominated the game. They created some good chances. They played with a high line and made it very difficult for us. And definitely Paul Pogba was at fault for Southampton's first goal, because he was easily dispossessed by Danny Ings. It was a lovely goal, by the way, from Stuart Armstrong. Nathan Redmond had got the assist. But then after that, we grew into the game. Obviously, we got the equaliser through Marcus Rashford. Obviously, Martial had got the assist. Obviously, Martial had also got his name on the score sheet. Martial has now got 21 goals in all competitions this season for Man United. And it's his 50th goal in the Premier League for Man United, Anthony Martial's. This has been Anthony Martial's 5th season at the football club. I think he's enjoyed a very good season this season under Solskjaer. But I think one of the best seasons Anthony Martial enjoyed was his debut season under the Louis van Gaal era. He did very well. And we paid around £36 million for Anthony Martial, potentially rising up to 57 or 58 million based on goals and achievements. So really, we should have won the game. Martial should have also scored when James Ward-Prowse had made that mistake. He did get the ball, but obviously, he didn't convert the chance. He didn't get it in. He shot, but obviously, the Southampton goalkeeper had saved it. Rashford had a great chance as well, I think, in the second half. So, yeah, actually, should have been out of sight, reflects on the chances that we did have. It was a shame as well because, we've missed out on the chance to go third, because obviously, you had Leicester lose recently 4-1 at Bournemouth. You had Chelsea, they recently lost to Sheffield United 3-0. So they both slipped up and we failed to capitalise on that. Like I said, I'm still very convinced that Manchester United will get the top 4. because we know how important Champions League qualification is. We have got to finish in that top 4 anyway, because Manchester City have had their 2-year Champions League ban overturned by CES. If they hadn't have had it overturned, then obviously, 5th place would have been a Champions League spot. 5th place would have been a Champions League spot. But I'm still convinced we can finish in that top 4. Like I said, we've got 3 games remaining now. We've got to win all our 3 remaining games, to obviously, have a chance of finishing in that top 4. But Solskjaer did recently say we've got to win all our remaining games anyway. And we've still got points to prove against the teams that we struggled against earlier on in the season. Another positive is that, we are unbeaten in our last 18 games in all competitions. I think we are unbeaten in our last 10 league games. And this is our best vein of form since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the interim manager. So that's a positive. So if we can beat Crystal Palace or, avoid defeat, we will extend our unbeaten run to 19 games in all competitions. I think we can go unbeaten for the remainder of the season. As you all know, in the game against Southampton yesterday, Luke Shaw came off with injury. He had an ankle problem, did Luke Shaw. And Luke Shaw sustained quite a few injuries as a Manchester United player. He really, really has, Luke Shaw, sustained quite a few injuries. And that's my only element of concern, really, regarding Luke Shaw, is that he's injury prone. But he missed the first part of the season with injury. But since he's come back, he's done very, very well. This has been Luke Shaw's 6th season at Man United. Of course, we got him from Southampton back in 2014 for around £30 million. But I think he's going to remain our first choice left back, maybe for next season as well. So he's got an ankle problem. Also to Brandon Williams, he collided heads with Kyle Walker-Peters. He got a really, really bad cut on his head, did Brandon Williams. So reflecting on this, Brandon Williams and Luke Shaw are going to be a doubt for the game on Thursday against Crystal Palace. So that isn't good news. So who are Man United going to put at left back if, Luke Shaw and Brandon Williams are not going to be available? Who are we going to put at left back? Because I think they're the only 2 left backs, that we have currently got. They're the only 2 left backs that we have currently got on that. I do expect, though, in this game against Crystal Palace, I expect Solskjaer to make some rotation. Because in the last 5 games, Solskjaer has gone with the exact same team. And that's the first time we've done that since February 1993. But I do think he's going to make some rotation in this game against Crystal Palace. Maybe Mason Greenwood could possibly be dropped. Because I don't think Greenwood, was too good against Southampton. Yesterday I thought Ryan Bertrand had him in his pocket. Don't get me wrong, Mason Greenwood's been in a great vein of form recently. Obviously, he's got 16 goals for us in all competitions this season, and Solskjaer knows that he's undroppable, Greenwood. But he has been starting a lot of games recently, so maybe, Greenwood needs a rest. Solskjaer did recently say that Mason Greenwood is ready to play for England at senior level. So maybe we could start Daniel James ahead of Greenwood. Daniel James hasn't been starting much recently. His appearances have been coming off the bench. Man Wan-Bissaka, could we decide to not start him against Crystal Palace? And Wan-Bissaka, I don't think was too good yesterday night against Southampton. Like I said, he didn't really get on the end of anything. Wan-Bissaka looked a bit fatigued, Wan-Bissaka, to be quite honest with you, but I still think he's enjoyed a fantastic season for Man United as Wan-Bissaka. This has been his first season at the football club. We paid £45 million for him from Crystal Palace last summer. And since the resumption of the season, we have seen, quite a bit of attacking intent from Bissaka. And I said that's something he did need to work on. And his defensive contributions being good, but his defensive contributions always been very, very good. Victor Lindelof. Some United fans may say we need to drop him for Palace. Because like I said, he was accountable for Southampton's late equaliser. In the game yesterday night, Lindelof did make a vital interception. Some of the clearances he made were quite good and he made some decent tackles. But, Victor Lindelof, let's be honest, he's not a world-class centre-half. He's a good centre-half, but I don't think he's a world-class centre-half. He's not on the same level as Harry Maguire is. He's not on the same level as Harry Maguire. Paul Pogba, I think he'll probably start on Thursday against Crystal Palace. I don't think Paul Pogba was good at all yesterday night against Southampton. Like I said, made a mistake for their first goal. He also made another mistake in the first half, and I thought Paul Pogba's decision making looked very, very slow. But prior to that game yesterday, since the resumption of the season, I think Paul Pogba has made a fantastic impact. And I think his combination with Bruno Fernandes has also, been very, very good. You already know the news regarding Paul Pogba. He said not too long ago that we have been in negotiations with Pogba's agent, Mini Raiola, over extending Paul Pogba's contract at the football club. Because as it stands at the moment, Pogba's just got under a year left on his contract, but the club do have an option to extend it for a further year. Solskjaer did say that he wants Paul Pogba to commit his long-term future at Manchester United. At one point, it was looking very imminent that Pogba was going to be leaving the club because he revealed last summer, Pogba, that he wanted to leave Man United and Real Madrid was his preference. Pogba said he was seeking for a new challenge. There was a lot of stories about Paul Pogba going back to Juventus because he did enjoy 4 good years with Juventus, and there were stories about him possibly going to PSG. There was also, talks about him going to Barcelona before. But if we can get him a long-term contract, then the uncertainty over his future, will go away. It will go away. But yeah, he wasn't good yesterday against Southampton. That's his worst performance, definitely since the resumption of the season, because I didn't have a perception on Pogba earlier on in the season because he was out with that ankle injury. Bruno Fernandes, it was good to see him get an assist yesterday, but I think he lacks composure, and that's unusual of Bruno Fernandes. It really, really is. He wasn't at his best yesterday, Bruno Fernandes. Like I said, though, he still enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career. Bruno Fernandes has become the first Man United player to win back-to-back Player of the Month since Cristiano Ronaldo. Bruno Fernandes won Premier League Player of the Month for June. He also won it back in February, reflects on his good run of performances. And Bruno Fernandes has got 8 goals for Manchester United. 8 goals at the moment. And that's very, very good that he's got 8 goals. We got Bruno Fernandes in a deal worth £65 million with add-ons included. But definitely, one of the best players we have recruited in since the Alex Ferguson era. But I'm still very convinced he'll start on Thursday against Crystal Palace. He will start on Thursday against Crystal Palace. Fred, I don't expect him to start. I think Fred's enjoyed a pretty good season. He's looked much better under Solskjaer than he did under Mourinho. But there again, Fred never really got his opportunities under the Jose Mourinho era. But I thought he was an exceptional player in Ukraine. We paid around £50 million for Fred. Nemanja Matic, since the resumption of the season, he's also been starting a lot for us as Nemanja Matic. And I think he's done really, really well. I don't think he was bad yesterday. I thought he looked exposed at times in that midfield. In that first 15-20 minutes, looked exposed. But I thought as the game, went on, he grew into it and, he started passing the ball really, really well and that. But I've been very, very delighted with Nemanja Matic. This has been now his 3rd season at Man United. He's made over 100 appearances now for the club. We paid around £40 million to him from Chelsea back in 2017. McTominay, he hasn't started a lot since the resumption of the season, but it was contrast before lockdown, because before lockdown, Scott McTominay was there ahead of Nemanja Matic, and don't forget McTominay was out with injury earlier on in the season. Obviously, we've got players that are hardly getting any chances, and they're finding game time very, very difficult. You've got Jesse Lingard finding game time very, very difficult. Lingard's found game time difficult since the arrival of Bruno Fernandes, and Lingard's, I presume, is one of the players that we want to sell in the summer transfer window. Andres Pereira, he's finding game time hard, but when he's getting his chances, they're coming from the bench. He's not starting games. Diego Dalot, he's not really getting any opportunities. I think we'll end up selling Diego Dalot because I don't actually think he's good enough to represent Manchester United. Diego Dalot is our backup right back to Wan-Bissaka. So we also, could get rid of him. Also to Eric Bay, he's our backup centre half. There was stories the other week saying that we could consider loaning Eric Bay out. He's a good centre half, is Eric Bay. Like I said, my only element of concern about him is that he is injury prone. Phil Jones, Tuanzebe, they're out injured at the moment, and they could be out. Well, Tuanzebe could be out with injury until September, I heard. I don't know how long actually Phil Jones is out. But I think, in this game against Palace, Solskjaer will make rotation. He could make maybe 2, 3, maybe even 4 changes, And the game at Selhurst Park, last season we beat Crystal Palace by 3-1. So we have got a pretty decent record against them. But we do have to win this game. We really, really do. After Crystal Palace, it's Chelsea in the Cup. That's another game I'm really, really looking forward to. And then we've got West Ham, and then it is Leicester on the final day of the season. Leicester is probably the hardest game we've got now in the league. That game against Leicester on the final day of the season could decide who finishes in the top 4. So I'm really, really looking forward to it. By the way, tomorrow I probably will be giving you my starting 11 prediction for the game against Crystal Palace. And like I said, I'll be giving you my reaction to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference. I really, really will. But like I said, regarding Manchester United, we are still on course. A lot of aspects of our game have really, really improved. We have been creating more chances. We have been scoring more goals. The combinations in the team have really, really improved. And, we didn't see this earlier on in the season. Because earlier on in the season, I said to you, didn't I, Solskjaer's decision making, was very, very poor. He didn't have a plan A, or he didn't have a plan B. And he was very tactically inept. But all of a sudden now, Solskjaer seems to have got things right. He seems to have got things right in that. And, he seems to now have a plan A. He seems to, have a plan B. Which is very, very good. And earlier on in the season, we enjoyed our worst start to a Premier League season for 30 years. And at that point, there was talks of Mauricio Pochettino coming in, and there was also talks of Massimiliano Allegri coming in. And, we've had a lot of bad results throughout the course of this season. Like I said, we had the 2-1 home defeat to Palace earlier on in the season. We had, the 1-0 loss to Newcastle. We had the 2-0 away loss to West Ham. We had the 2-0 home defeat to Burnley back in January. That's the last time, we did lose. But I've already given you the main explanations why Ole Gunnar Solskjaer didn't get sacked as Manchester United manager in that. Because the signing of Bruno Fernandes has definitely saved his job, because he's made a difference in the team. With Solskjaer being a club legend as well, that could also play a part in it. And I think this unbeaten run could also play a part in it as well. But, Solskjaer has now been at the football club a year and a half. And I think he's been permanent Manchester United manager for around 15 months. We give Solskjaer the job permanently, reflecting on what he did in that 3-month period when he was the interim manager. Because he did really, really well in that 3-month period when he was the interim manager in that. But like I said, we've got priorities for this season. Not only the top 4, like I said, the FA Cup and the Europa League are 2 priorities for us. Because that's a chance for us winning 2 trophies under Solskjaer. Because we've not yet won out in terms of silverware under Solskjaer. We haven't won a trophy since the Jose Mourinho era. And, that was back in 2017, the last time we won a trophy. That was the Europa League and the League Cup. Won the FA Cup under Louis van Gaal era back in 2016. But I think we are going to win at least 1 trophy, this season. And like I said, next season our expectations will be to challenge for the Premier League title, because Solskjaer did recently say, look, we've got to spend money, to compete with the likes of Manchester City and Liverpool. There's a lot of uncertainty regarding the summer transfer window, because Solskjaer did say our plans for next season, our pre-season plans and our transfer strategy are up in the air because of the, financial impact of the coronavirus pandemic. So I don't think Solskjaer's sure how much, he's going to have to spend. There were stories coming out before the resumption of the season saying that we'd taken around a £140 million loan to help us, get the players that we want in the summer transfer window. Solskjaer recently made a transfer prediction, an exciting one, and says, that any young player, would want to come to Manchester United. And, like I said, there's been quite a few young players on our agenda. I think there's already 2 young players that have rejected moves to Man United, and that's Erling Haaland. It was a shame that we didn't get Erling Haaland in January because he would have been an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer type signing. And also to Jude Bellingham, he also rejected a move to Manchester United as well. But one thing Solskjaer did say regarding the summer transfer window is that he will not tolerate any rotten apples in the squad. And this is what he said to our players quite a few weeks ago. So he wants to avoid buying any rotten apples in the summer transfer window. Solskjaer knows that we are lacking in key areas, and he's recently told Ed Woodward the 3 positions he wants to strengthen up. He said he wants to recommend a striker in, he wants to recommend a right winger in, and he also wants to recommend a centre defensive midfielder in. There's still stories coming out saying that Solskjaer wants to recommend a centre half in, despite the fact that we've got 7 centre halves in the team. But, I think he's already revealed his plans for the summer transfer window. And I've seen a lot of improvements under Solskjaer. I really, really have. He's been, like I said, he's been here 18 months so far. And it's obviously, there's been ups and there's been downs. Like I said, Solskjaer's recommended 5 good players into the football club so far and spent just over £200 million on them. Last summer brought Daniel James, Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. And in January brought Bruno Fernandes and Odion Ighalo in. So definitely our recruitment has improved under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. Also too, Solskjaer's promoted the youth very, very well. The young players have been given their chances this season. Like I said, our record against the top 6 sides this season has been good because we've taken 18 points against the top 6 sides this season. We've also extended a lot of players' contracts since Solskjaer got recommended in to the football club. And, Solskjaer's got rid of a lot of the deadwood as well since he got recommended into Manchester United. And Solskjaer's looking to get rid of more of the deadwood in the summer transfer window. So we're going to generate money that way by getting rid of players in the summer transfer window. I've already gone through with you the players that, Man United do want to get rid of. Because these are, quite frankly, these still deadwood in the squad. Quite frankly, these still deadwood in the squad and that. But there you go. Like I said, Solskjaer's got a decision to make on 8 players. Because we've got 8 players' contracts that are due to expire next year. By the way, the news regarding David De Gea. I was talking with you about David De Gea earlier on today. Also to Solskjaer, I was talking to you about David De Gea earlier on today. I also mentioned David De Gea yesterday. Yesterday night, David De Gea made his 400th appearance for the football club. Only became the second Manchester United goalkeeper to reach 400 appearances after Alex Stepney. As you all know, David De Gea's already broke Peter Schmeichel's record. He already has broke Peter Schmeichel's record and that. David De Gea obviously will start in goal against Palace. Maybe he won't start in goal against Chelsea because he doesn't start in the cup games very often, does De Gea. David De Gea, apart from the 2 goals he leaked, only had 1 save to make yesterday night, and it was a very, very good save to deny Nathan Redmond and that. I'm very convinced that David De Gea will be our number 1 for next season. Very, very convinced about it. Because Solskjaer feels as though that Dean Henderson's not yet ready to become our number 1. But he did Solskjaer, that Dean Henderson will be England's number 1 and Manchester United's number 1 goalkeeper in the future. But Dean Henderson's out on loan with Sheffield United at the moment. It's been his 2nd season on loan with Sheffield United. And there's still stories coming out saying that Chelsea are interested in Dean Henderson. But David De Gea is going to remain our number 1. Solskjaer said that David De Gea needs trophies with personal milestones. And David De Gea, I think, with us has had 7 good years out of the 9 years he's been here. Because in the last couple of years, he's been a liability, reflects on the calamitous mistakes he's made. But David De Gea is now approaching his 10th year at the football club. So there you go. Solskjaer was recently talking about Marcus Rashford. He said he's been very, very happy with him since the resumption of the season. Rashford's now scored 2 goals since the resumption of the season. But like I said earlier on in the season, Marcus Rashford was a big miss for us. And Solskjaer's made a lot of rotation throughout the course of this season, reflecting on the injuries that, Manchester United have had. But like I said, we've got a good squad. We've got a good squad, we've got a deadly attack. But the squad's obviously, not yet good enough to challenge or win the league as it stands at the moment. But I think we'll need to make around 2, maybe 3 signings in the summer transfer window. This is, what Manchester United do need to do. But like I said, we haven't won the Premier League since 2013. So the last time we won it was in Alex Ferguson's last season. Last time we won the Premier League and that. So this has been now the 7th season we have failed to mount any kind of title challenge up. But, wasn't only critical of Ollie earlier on in the season. Like I said, there's been a lot of problems at the football club for several years. There's been problems with the club's ownership for a long time, which are the Glazers. They've been here since 2005. There's been a lot of problems with Ed Woodward, and the main explanations why we've been critical of Woodward is reflects on how poor our recruitment policy's been. Us overpaying for players as well. We've been criticised for that. And Woodward's been here since 2012. Yes, he has, and been very critical of the board as well. So there's been a lot of problems at the club for the last 7 years or so. 3 managers have been sacked. Solskjaer's our 4th permanent manager since the Alex Ferguson era. But he does need more time, Solskjaer. He really, really does need more time. Like I said, the vast majority of these players are not Solskjaer's. The vast majority of these players are Jose Mourinho's, and Solskjaer's inheriting the vast majority of them. Obviously, there's players here. There's still a few players here from the Van Gaal era. There's Matter here from the David Moyes era and that. And I think there's still a couple of players here from the Alex Ferguson era. So there you go. Actually, I might do another video later on. If I do, that will be 4 videos I've done today. I don't usually do 4 videos on my YouTube channel. I usually do like 2, maybe 3 a day. But I might give you the starting 11 prediction later on. Or also on my next video, I want to give you an update on some transfer news as well. So there you go. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.